Welcome to Thrones and Scones. It is your weekday morning podcast where we talk about Game of Thrones over breakfast. It's Tony, it's Hans, and it is Jeremy in with you today, tackling Season 4, Episode 6, The Laws of Gods and Men. Ironically, both say you can't do your sister, but we'll see if that's what this episode is focusing on. Welcome, guys. Welcome back to another week. How are you? It's beautiful to see your faces this morning.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while.
I was just thinking that. Yep, it feels right. Back to it.
Back again. Back at it again with the white vans. That's still a relevant thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when we don't do the bonus episode, it feels like there's such a big gap.
It feels like there's a
between
loss.
episodes.
Indeed, yeah. Because here's a little known fact, actually. The three of us hate each other with such passion that we do not communicate outside of this
Outside of
podcast.
this brief period.
Because God help us, we would murder ourselves or each other.
Yeah, we really at this point we're really only doing this because of the fan base, the demand for it, the money,
The money.
Oh yeah,
the fame.
the money's a big one.
the fame. That's the only reason we do it.
But mostly money.
Yeah, raking in them hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode ain't too shabby.
Gotta get my sweet Tesla.
Well, let's load up for another paycheck here, gentlemen. Do you guys want to hear the plot for season 4, episode 6?
Yeah, I'd
No
love a little wiki rundown.
Okay. Now, I will say, in a text thread, because again, we can't communicate with our voices, we would get into a rage, but there was some text going around, some conflicting answers as to what I was supposed to be reading this as, so you guys will have to settle that dispute amongst yourselves. It's a short one, I'll let you know.
I think Jeremy had a recommendation for this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves.
So, Keanu Reeves. Now, here's the thing. As I think we established in last episode or Thursdays, I'm not really sure. Whenever we talked at length about movies, I'm not very good at keeping up with popular actors. I hadn't seen any Brad Pitt films in a while, and I don't think I've seen The Matrix. I haven't seen, what's his most recent, John Wick, right?
That's probably the most popular.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, haven't seen any of, or either of those.
How about Walk in the Clouds? His little rom-com.
Never seen it. Nope.
What about that
But
creepy one where he cheats on his wife with some chicks or something?
Oh, is that the
And
one where
then
the two girls
It's like
come
a
into
horror
his home?
movie. Yeah, and it's the chick from Blade Runner.
Oh,
The
really?
new Blade
no
Runner movie,
idea.
obviously, not the old one. The chick.
Hey, he's immortal. He could get after it, you know? So, yeah, I've seen Bill and Ted's a long, long time ago. And so I guess that'll be my only thing to go off of for this. So wish me luck.
I think
All
that's
right.
fair.
Season 4, Episode 6, The Laws of Gods and Men. Excellent. Yo, Stannis and Davos set sail with a new strategy. Danny meets with the royal stallion. Oh wait, no, with supplicants. Tyrion faces down Socrates in the throne room. Socrates played in this episode of Game of Thrones by, of course, Tywin Lannister. Sorry, that
was pretty solid in the beginning.
bad.
I was digging that. That was good. That was good.
I've been lazy recently. No one can see us, so nobody will know except you two. I've been really lazy recently and not wanting to take like my actual headphones home from work because I just forget to bring them back and then I have to use other people's. So I've just been using earbuds to record these, and ironically, I can hear myself. My volume is a lot louder in those. And so I couldn't really hear that at all. So I'm just going to hold my head high and say that it was probably flawless
Pretty dope.
and move on from there. I will say, just because I forgot to mention it at the get-go, today, Season 4, Episode 6, The Laws of Gods and Men, and Carrot Cake. What? We're not branching out into pastries.
What?
Someone made it into a scone. We'll have to talk about that later. But first, fellas, kicking off another week here, another episode. What did you think? First impressions of episode 6?
Not too bad. Not. I think middle of the road for the season, in my opinion.
I think that's probably a pretty fair assessment. You know, it's not as slow as we get in the season, certainly not as exciting as we get, There's a couple cool things. I think one of the things that I really liked the first time I watched it, and going back, it's still quite cool. Almost feels a little cheap that this is the introduction we get. But we see Bravos for the first day. Yeah. It's the Jugglies. How did you know? We go to Bravos for the first time. And, I mean, they go under the Titan of Bravos' little skirt thing. You know, the camera doesn't pan up, so we don't get to see if he's packing any Jugglies up there. Bravos is maybe my favorite city, idealistically, in the series, you know, of Ice and Fire in the books and in the show. I think it's such a cool idea for a city. It's basically medieval Venice, and Venice just kind of seems like an antiquated idea anyway, in a really cool way. So the fact that they made it like a badass den of like assassins and all these open markets, I just love the idea of Bravos. Now, did I want to go there and watch Stannis and Davos spending 15 minutes at the bank? Not necessarily.
Sure. Feels like everyday Saturday morning.
Yeah, exactly. But no. And you know what? I tell you what. Banks realize now that we don't have to go to them, so they're up in their game. They bake cookies every day.
Oh, yeah,
you go inside.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
they'll
crazy.
give you cookies. The Iron Bank of Bravos barely had chairs. So I don't even know why they didn't just do it online. But no, they sailed all the way to Essos, went in, and it was a little rough sailing. Kind of a cool moment with Davos saving the day.
Yeah, it was pretty pretty interesting. I think it's fine. Like I said, it's definitely not the most exciting moments in Game of Thrones.
Sure.
You know, if I want to go to the bank, I'll just go, you know?
Yeah. It's the realism of the show. We've all been there trying to finance our, somewhat dilapidated army so that we can overthrow the bastard son of our brother, who's dead.
Do you guys go to the bank anymore? You just do it online?
So I actually don't have direct deposit set up at my work.
What? They let you do that?
So my last job, they took it away to save money. Somehow it was cheaper for them not to offer direct deposit.
To print things is cheaper?
So it was crazy. So this job, I just didn't set it up right away because of laziness. And then I got that bartending gig, and it was like, okay, well, I'm going to the bank to cash in tips anyway, so I just won't set it up. And then even though I've done with that now, I just haven't set it up because of the aforementioned cookies. They won't mail them to you, but if you go in, they'll give you as many as you want. So I go in every other week.
That's interesting. What kind of cookies are we talking about? Are they doing the DoubleTree, like only one type, or are they doing the...
No, they switch it up. Now, it's good because I usually only go on Fridays, and Fridays is the day they usually do chocolate chip.
Okay.
But other than that, I have gone a few other days. It seems like their favorite one is Snickerdoodle, which is not a cookie that I respect.
Interesting.
And I don't want to eat it. So
really?
I get a little upset when that's around, yeah.
I absolutely can get behind some Snickerdoodle cookies.
It's when I think I'm getting a chocolate chip and I'm actually getting a raisin cookie that I get pissed off at the world.
I've never, are you really not looking at the cookie? They look sufficiently different.
Probably not. It's a cookie, so I'm excited because I'm
that's fair.
Fat kid.
I don't know though, because if you're talking raisin cookies, this is going to be a raisin oatmeal cookie, and the oats just look different than your typical batter for.
And they feel different.
Chip, but see, oatmeal chocolate chip I actually like.
I'm talking about. I agree with that. Yeah.
You're saying that you think that you're getting oatmeal chocolate chip?
Yes, I'm saying I'm excited, thinking that this
just
lovely,
a very rare cookie.
But I love that stuff and I make that, so I'm thinking, maybe this is maybe someone else enjoys this delicacy. But no, they fucking hate.
Now,
me.
are you saying that you just don't like the misdirect, or you don't like oatmeal raisin cookies?
Oh, I think it's both. I think I despise oatmeal raisin. And I get excited only to be then, put back in my place. So, yeah, it's horrible.
I love oatmeal raisin cookies. Yeah. And I actually think they're the most consistent quality out of any cookie ever. If you go for an oatmeal raisin, I feel like you know what you're going to get. And granted, I think that many cookies can rise above that mark. Mm-hmm. But, if you get a slightly burnt chocolate chip cookie, it's kind
It
of
ruins,
a bummer.
yeah.
Like it ruins your day just a little bit because you're like, I just blew 450 calories and it wasn't even that good. But oatmeal raisin, solid throughout.
So,
Know what I mean,
are you crunchy or chewy?
I need that chew, daddy.
Chew daddy. What is your take on the peanut butter cookie?
Oh, fuck that shit. Nope.
I'm not a big peanut butter fan. I'm getting better with age, but it's like I just want it to be an accentuator flavor. I don't want it to be the star. So a straight up peanut butter cookie I'm not into. Around the holidays when they do like the Hershey's Kiss in the little peanut butter cookie,
Yeah.
I'll eat that. I like that.
Okay. Let me throw one more at you. Actually, two more.
Yeah.
If you say ginger, you
throw
can
nine
fucking
more
get
at
off
me.
this goddamn
about that?
podcast.
What about that white chip macadamia?
Oh, I love that. That shit is fucking the bomb.
I don't know the last time I've had one. I'm into it. I'm into it.
okay.
As we've established before, nuts very rarely improve things for me. I think in that instance, though,
Hashtag
it might
Hodor.
be better because white chocolate's a little intense on the sweet side. So having that little salty nut action in my mouth,
In the mouth. That
I'm not
mouth.
opposed.
That mouth
Okay.
feel.
Okay. One more cookie. Let me hit you with the premier cookie. So picture this.
go to hell.
Picture
You take
ass.
that delectable chocolate chip cookie and you just take the one ingredient that's holding it back, the chocolate chips. You take that out of there. What do you have? The absolute best cookie.
In case you were wondering why I was like, oh, why are Tony and Jeremy just going forward talking? Why aren't they letting Han speak? It's because that's his opinion on cookies. Is that is what makes the
You guys ever
pinnacle
had
of
that cookie dough
greatness.
cookie? What? What are you talking about? You know, like where you have the cookie dough and you just eat it? Like as a cookie? No. People put shit in that to make it a cookie.
Can I tell you? So as a kid, I had. He's still my friend. I feel bad for saying that now. But one of my friends, Morris, as a kid, his parents worked for like General Mills, so they'd always have a bunch of freaking packs of cookies and stuff. And so we'd go over to his house, and he'd be like, "Okay, let's make some cookies." And it'd always be like me, another guy, Morris, and his brother. And there's like 12 to a package, so everyone gets 4. That was always the rule. And I was like, ugh, jeez. Okay. Now that I'm saying that math doesn't even work out.
4 times 4 equals 16.
All right. Well, somehow we all got 4.
His brother was
Maybe
a
there were only
douchebag.
3
We
of
cut
us.
him
I
out.
don't know. So I was like, the first time I was like, all right, I'm going to game this system. I was like, all right, I'll have 4 cookies. But then as he was getting ready, I took 2 and ate them as dough. And then I demanded my 4 cookies, and he said, "No, you already ate half of them." And it was like it broke our hearts. It ruined our friendship for so long because he set the rules very straight, and I followed them. He broke me, man.
It broke me.
Yeah, I was never a big cookie dough, but I'm telling you, when you made brownies, like, you know, like the residual brownie mix in there, that stuff was the jam.
Not
I
into
think,
brownies.
yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things when you realize that you're in adulthood, when you accept that good cookies are better than the dough,
Yeah.
you know? Because like as a kid, I was always into the dough, and
Really?
I still think it's good. But like, if you got cookie dough, can only get so good, but you could make an incredible cookie, and it's always going to be better, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never I would agree, but I've never really been a massive cookie dough fan.
Are you a cookie and
Maybe
ice
you've
cream?
always been an old man.
like
Maybe.
like an ice cream cookie like sandwich kind of person, or
What are you
Yes.
talking about? Like just
So,
like yours?
No. So I'm just saying, it's like if you had an option of having 2 cookies with like
Okay.
something, would you have like an ice cream sandwich? Would you rather have just like a glass of cold milk? Would you like to have scotch? Would you?
Ooh,
Ooh.
nice.
So would I like my cookies with an ice cream sandwich? Like the standard ice cream sandwich?
No.
I think he's saying you have 2 cookies, and you can use one other thing to complete the
Yeah, kind of
dish.
complete
I see
it.
what
Yeah,
you mean.
yeah.
You can
What would
make
you
an
do with-
ice cream sandwich out of the cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like way too much work. I'm not doing that. I'm never.
No.
doing
But
that.
like you'll go to like a restaurant and that's how they're like, oh, 2 warm chocolate chip cookies with ice cream in the middle, or ice cream on top of your
Okay.
cookie. Like for me, a cookie, I'm cool with just a cookie. Like I don't need the other stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
same. I don't think I've really ever added anything to the cookie. And let me tell you, the only way to make a chocolate chip cookie worse is to warm it up. Dear God.
Oh my god.
To hell.
What is your problem? So you're essentially saying fresh baked cookies are the worst, which is the definition of why you make them.
I'm saying the only way to make chocolate chip cookies worse is by heating it up. Because then, like every normal man out there, it's so hard to get the chocolate chips out if they're all melty. You got to pick those suckers out of there and throw them right in the trash. But if they're all melty, it's just going to first of all just make it's going to first of all make just a giant mess.
So here's the thing: you get them molten, and then you take one of those little baby snot things and you just
suck it right out.
Suck the chocolate right out.
It's not a bad idea.
Oh my god. Oh, fuck my life.
God.
How did we get here?
Speaking of delicious morsels, Drogon eats some goats in this episode. I actually wrote down Drogon eats some children because I thought that's what happened as I started to watch the scene.
Yeah.
And then that didn't play out that way, so I crossed it out and wrote goats.
Yeah, that's
I guess it was just foreplay at this point. But and this, I think, and I could be wrong, might be the first time we've seen the dragons in this season.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
And they are
Those suckers are
muy grande.
big.
Or I should say he. We only saw the one.
Wait,
But,
did we not talk? Wait, was it last season where snaps at her and he's like, "You can't train dragons"? Was that?
Oh, maybe that was this season, actually. You could be right.
I feel like that may have been the first episode. I don't know. It feels
they
it feels
seem
like it's
bigger now.
recent, but definitely bigger now. So
Yeah, much
CG
much bigger.
looking CG awesome.
I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks good until she tries to ride it
Yeah.
later on. That's where, and again, I'm not super sensitive to that, but oh, do I notice?
But speaking of my favorites in this episode, I mean, I think I like this episode a little more than Hans, maybe you. One, because I like Yara Greyjoy.
Okay.
I enjoy her character. So I like her story, even with Theon, or Reek as we know him now. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the rescue attempt. I thought it was pretty awesome when he bites her. You know, kind of like she realizes that this is not going to go well after she's pretty much telling her father, fuck off, I'm going to go save him. She riles the men up, which I thought was a really cool part of the scene when she's reading the letter that was sent to her dad. Cool scene, cool battle, you know. Again, the whole kind of a bad part of that when he's what's his name? Ramsay's like, oh, release the hounds and can you run fast? I'm like, wait, so you guys are all in this small room, you're releasing the dogs, and yet they're still barking in the background as they're running to the boats? Like,
Here's my problem with that. How many dogs do you think there were?
right. I think they show the kennel
They're
one
in
time.
armor
Yeah.
with swords
With
and
swords.
shields. Like, you could stab some
Yeah,
dogs.
Yeah.
Like, I understand.
No, they
we
act like
haven't-
hounds are like this evil destruction force in the show often.
And I get it. They're going to get through that armor. It's going to be unpleasant, and you might suffer some casualties. But you were just fighting other armed human beings. And they're like in what I think is individual cages, or at
Yeah.
least a few separate ones.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to have waves, you know? Come on. It's like they've never played a video game before. You can stab some dogs.
And why do they stop fighting? You know, it's like, whoa, let's stop and talk this out for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you want to kill him. He's the reason why you're here. So get your brother and kill him. But anyway, so I thought that was good. But I think we can agree the best part of this entire episode is Tyrion at King's Landing, the trial, just his losing his shit when Shay is on the stand. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Quickly. I didn't get to jump in there. Ramsay. He had time to put on pants, but he didn't think to put on a shirt or anything? Like, or just going shirtless?
Yeah, he wanted to come down and not only show off those abs that, you know, he was working so hard to get, but also say, hey, look, I get cut up when I'm getting busy with my lady. Imagine what I'm prepared to do against you. You know,
true.
like
That's good.
he's playing that mind game.
That makes sense. Are we assuming these cuts are coming from the intercourse?
I mean, unless he just like was walking down
That was
and
my-
he like fell or something.
That was
a
my
cutter.
thought as well, is like, where is he getting all this blood on him and all these cuts? There wasn't that many people.
It's true. It's a good point. I guess it doesn't show him all cut up in the throes of passion. So perhaps not.
I don't know.
So I thought it was cool. I
mystery.
thought it was cool. I actually liked the beginning where like they're scaling the wall. Guy takes the axe to the head.
Oh yeah.
Like, why would it was kind of dumb, but I'm like, all right. So clearly, someone's trying to come up the wall and kill. Why wouldn't you be like, hey guys, someone's coming? Why would you lean over to take an axe in the head? Let me just peek down.
Then the one guy runs out like he saw that or knew that, even though he's like coming upstairs or something. He's running out with purpose, like to attack, and they kill him really fast. So like if he why isn't he yelling or saying anything?
No one says anything. Be quiet. That way we won't wake anyone.
Yeah, they all want to be the heroes, man.
Yes. So the King's Landing, the trial. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about with that. Tywin's kind of set this up. We know that Tommen is going to recuse himself. And does it very, it's weird because he's walking towards Tyrion and he kind of just then doesn't make eye contact, but then kind of skirts away. And I think Tyrion's like, really? Like, or, I'm your uncle. Like, we should be conversing. And then it kind of just goes to the whole, out of the different witnesses, who do you think was more damning before we get to Shay?
Well, just to touch on your point there for a second, do you guys think that Tommen thinks Tyrion did it?
No.
No?
No. You do?
Well, I'm not going to say that I think he came to that conclusion, but I think Tommen is a very easily influenced person, and anybody around him who would currently be influencing him would try to be convincing him that Tyrion did, in fact, do it. So yeah, I think he probably does.
Interesting.
I guess I think from the way he talks, it doesn't sound angry or kind of like, I mean, yeah, he gives the whole, if the ruling is this, then, so be it kind of thing. But it doesn't come off to me as like, where he is like, where he believes that he's guilty and he's wanting it. Like his brother was, in theory, he lost his brother, right?
I don't think there's any love lost between Tommen and Joffrey.
Oh yeah, maybe that's more of it. Yeah,
but yeah, I'm not saying it's. I think the case could be made either way. I was just curious as to your thoughts on it. As to the actual witnesses, I think Varys hurt Tyrion a lot.
Yep.
To his core. And I get why he did it. He's mentioned it before. Like he's got to keep his position for the good of the realm and everything. This is how he does it. Mm-hmm. And he kind of, gets that little, sadly, my lord, I never forget a thing, like little motion in at the end, sort of redeemingly, I guess. But I don't know. There's really also nobody I ever want to punch more than Meryn Trant anytime he's on screen.
Yeah.
Just right in the nose, ideally.
So
he tears
why?
up.
I guess from the one I don't understand, I guess I shouldn't say I don't understand it because I kind of get it. But why do you think Varys was so harsh towards Tyrion? Like, he could have just kind of kept neutral, I feel like. I don't feel like he had to take such a strong stance against him. What do you guys think? It seemed weird.
My only theory is if, Varys, we have to assume, knows almost as much as we do. He's probably the most informed character in the show. If Varys knows they have Shay, and Varys knows there's a connection they could weed out, he's kind of got to distance himself there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good way of looking at it.
Really set himself up as being on the correct side, and even not through Shay if they're trying to, get to Bronn or get to Podrick. Like Tyrion and Varys have absolutely been seen together, and while I don't think any conspiracy could necessarily be drawn from it, if Varys wants to make sure that his name's in the clear so his position's secure, I think that unfortunately this is probably what needed to happen in his head.
Yeah, and also Shay can really hurt Varys, right?
She probably could, yeah.
I mean that's the other thing that's not really clear in the sense of maybe his mindset of like, she's going on the stand. She can burn a lot of bridges, including putting people in some really bad positions, and Varys being one of them near the top, I think, because of, how he was communicating with her and helping her. I mean, she's about it was a rough testification. That's not really a word I want to use,
But I loved it.
I'm gonna go with it.
One of the better
Testification.
words.
Yep, haven't been doing that in a while. So
Testification.
testicles in my cation.
I've been so back and forth I don't even want to say season, last few seasons of, I don't understand how Shay gets to this point. And then the last couple episodes, I was like, all right, well, never mind. They do kind of set her off kind of aggressively. But now, even remembering and keeping in mind everything, she seems so cold.
Yeah.
Like, she fucking sucks.
Yep.
Like
she's
the
gotta
truth
understand
would be
why-
enough.
Yeah.
The lies that she's coming with are so unwarranted.
Well, I think it's because they want us to not care.
And Sansa did nothing to her, right? And she said she loved Sansa and all this stuff, and she's throwing Sansa under the bridge too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. Yeah, she went too fast to the wrong direction.
Yeah, this is not. It is a spoiler for coming up later in the season. Sorry, spoilers, everyone. But I do just want to mention it while we're talking about Shay. I don't think that this necessarily makes sense why she came back and did this. I don't think the end of her character arc makes any sense when you find her with Tywin. And
That
you're like,
made
what
no sense to me.
What the fuck? It makes no sense in the books either, and they never explain it. Like, it's just, what? It seems so wrong and so odd.
Yeah, it's weird. What's your favorite moment of the episode?
It actually comes during that, and this is, I think, a part of the show where his accent is not great, but beyond that, this moment with Tyrion is very good. I think in the next season, we're really going to see the aftershocks of this, but I think that moment when Shay is talking is absolutely very much his low point. It's when he's kind of hitting rock bottom, and everything that comes beyond this, I think that he'll look a little bit more desperate, but is really just spawning off of this moment where he's like, okay, my friends are gone. Most of my family wants me dead. This woman who I had tried to, ruin my happiness with just to save her life is now coming back and, potentially ending mine. And it's just like everything is going against Tyrion at this point. And it sucked to watch, but he did a great job.
What about you, Jeremy?
No, so the Shay, when Tyrion loses himself, when he talks about just his comments to Cersei specifically, when he pokes everyone in his last little rant, and it was great for me. So that was the best part of the entire thing. And then the whole trial by combat at the end, and the look on Tywin's face of like, how could he not expect that to come, right? I mean, I feel like that's like a given that he's going to request that. But Tywin's like, you little son of a bitch. Like, I have to delay this longer to killing you? So.
I don't know. The trial by combat thing at this point, I was like, again? I don't know. It just seems...
Well, it worked the first time. Would you not go for it again?
Yeah, I mean, he has
but
Bronn.
how many times
How
many times does he just expect someone else to fight all his battles for him?
It's true.
My favorite... I don't think I'm as big of a Tyrion fan as either of you guys are. But I do like the relationship between, even just the subtle moments between Jaime and Tyrion, and I like how they've kind of built that out. And I think my favorite moment is when Jaime kind of takes a sidebar to talk to Tyrion and updates him on the things that are going on, and he has they have a nice moment, and he has a line where he just says like, do you trust me? Mm-hmm. Do what I tell you, and
I can show you the world. Oh wait, no, that's the
and I just thought that moment was really good, and then kind of right after you get those eyes from Cersei to Jaime, and you kind of realize you know what he's kind of sacrificing doing all this, and I think it's I like all of that a lot.
It's some of my favorite stuff in the next couple of episodes as well. I think we get an awesome build of their relationship. And right before that moment, maybe the runner-up for my favorite moment, even though it sucks to watch, like Tywin plays the shit out of Jaime. Catches him. Jaime comes in thinking he's going to make this like grand gesture, and Tywin's like, deal, done, great, boom, knew it. Like...
Yep. And guess what? Now you're going to do it, and I'm still going to get what I want.
Yeah. He fucking owns his son there and doesn't even try to hide the fact that he's loving every minute of it.
Yeah, that was a good one. Man, it was hard to watch that Shay scene. I was just like, it was rough. Yeah, and then we had quite a few jugglies, couple anyway.
We did. We got to see. We got to see some Bravosi Tatis out in Essos there with Salvador San, telling the best pirate joke in the history of pirate jokes. We got to see Miranda's full nude visage once again. I think that was it, unless I missed a couple.
Yeah, just the two. But it's been kind of a drought.
Yeah, we've been in a dry spell, and they opened strong. So yeah, it was a good one. I'm curious as to your least favorite parts of this episode, y'all.
Mine was the Shay scene,
the Shay thing.
Yeah.
Yours too, Jeremy.
Yeah, I wrote down Shay was rough.
I didn't like Shay, and again, I think it does make sense, and I don't get it. The emotion and the reaction from Tyrion, I think, redeemed it a little bit for me. But my least favorite part, from a canonical perspective, is Varys having this conversation, talking all sly with Oberyn Martell, and like looking back and checking out the throne when he's asked what he wants. Like he's very much alluding to the fact that his ultimate goal is to rule, when I don't really think they've set him up to be that. And I want to say he's even said, or he will say at some point, that he might be the only person who doesn't want to sit on that throne.
Yeah,
so,
he's not playing the game for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't get that. I didn't get that moment at all.
Yeah, I think that kind of contradicts everything we've kind of been shown for his character this entire time, where he's always trying to improve the realm while not being destructive of those who are sitting on the throne, right? He was always trying to give advice, helpful advice, trying to make things better in the kingdom, but not throwing the kingdom back into turmoil with replacing another leader for someone else. So yeah, it was. It I agree. I never thought about it that way, but I totally can see that point.
Anything else that you guys want to touch on from the episode? I think we've hit.
No, I think that was it.
Yeah. No.
Well then, we'll conclude the thrones for today.
We talked about the most important part of the episode, about all the cookies.
All the cookies, yes. Yes, indeed. And since just to throw back to some sweet goodies, guys, I have a scone today. I ate it. It felt good in my mouth. Would you like to hear about it?
Yeah, of course, obviously.
So I decided that, you know what, I was really feeling some carrot cake, but all these carrot cake recipes are crazy. So I was like, well, I'll make some carrot cake scones because their recipes were a lot easier. Right. And damn.
Did you make it like in like a pan? Like...
I'm sorry, Jeremy. That's unfortunately all the time that we have for today.
Did you cut it?
We'll be back tomorrow.
Did you make
with more,
it fresh icing?
Game of Thrones action, another scone.
Fucking hate you both all the time.
Of course, in the meantime, you can hit up thronesandscones.com for the links to all our stuff and wherever you can listen to us on podcasts.
You're talking about
you can
carrot
do that.
cake scones. And
are you down with GOT?
Yeah, you know me.
Jeremy, are you done? Yeah, you know me.
Son of a bitch.
But yes, so I made the nice little doughed up my counter, divvied them up into nice little triangles, and put them on a little cookie sheet.
Did you butter them to get that like that brown?
Ooh, so interesting. So the first time, that I made the scones, and I ended up burning them, so it wasn't a great thing. I did an egg wash.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't have a brush. I thought I did, but I didn't. So I was like, oh, okay. So I used my fingers, and so it wasn't great. But then I found the brush, and it was right where I looked. I just didn't see it. And so, but this recipe called for a heavy cream finish. So you brushed heavy cream on the top.
Cool.
And again, I can't really compare, but like they were hands down the best scone that I have had yet.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. They were very good. So, maybe the heavy cream's where it's at. I don't know.
I mean, heavy cream to butter is not far away. So.
It's true. It's not. I think it's really just you got to have any sort of milk fat there on the top. And you're good.
Exactly. Yeah.